Let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick real quick.
49er mind.
Yeah. Yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49er mind.
How's everybody doing? Welcome to another episode of 49er Minded. Really excited about today's show because I got a very special guest who I've been waiting to bring on here for a very long time. Reason being, he's a good friend of mine from the old Candlestick days. His name is 49er Tone. He does have a YouTube channel. If you go in the description of this video, you will see the 49er Tone YouTube page. You will also see his Twitter page, and you can definitely subscribe and follow his Twitter page and his YouTube page as well. If you guys are familiar with who he is, you may have seen him before in certain videos. But here's a little cool video that he recently put on his YouTube channel. I'm going to play it for you guys right now.
What's going on? It's your boy 49er Tone.
Let's
with
go.
The Butcher Boy.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby.
Trey looks good.
Woo. I know. I'm so excited, man. I'm super excited.
Hell yeah.
Because just the energy, this whole preseason doesn't feel like a preseason game.
A lot of people out here have been out for months.
Yeah.
So I've been to a football game in 2 years.
Yeah.
This is great.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, no. I'm on YouTube, man. It's all good. We use all kinds of language. But I'll tell you what, though. Just coming in, the energy, can you wait for that Sunday night game?
No, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see what Trey develops into, man. I don't know if it's Jimmy's job. I don't know if it's Trey's.
Taking your field, please.
Yeah, exactly, man. Well, it's your boy 49er Tone with my boy Butcher Boy, man. Holla at the boy, man.
That was a shout out to my boy 49er Tone and his video that he had from his YouTube channel. He had a lot of fun there hanging out with Joe Shasky from 95.7 The Game, otherwise known as Butcher Boy. Great, big-time 49er fan, but yeah, he covers the Niners, and he's passionate with the Niners. He's always on 95.7 The Game with Bonte Hill. I highly suggest you guys check them out. And without further ado, going to bring on our guest, 49er Tone. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, my brother?
Man, it's been a long time coming. Been bugging you about coming on the show for the longest time, and we finally got it sorted out, man. How you feeling today?
Oh, I'm feeling good. I'm pumped up. It's game day. Yeah, I've been wanting to come on the show. I know schedules haven't really worked out too well, but hey, man, we're here. We're finally here.
That's right. So we're definitely going to talk about what we think about the 49ers going to this preseason game with the San Diego Chargers. But I also like to get my people out there to know who I'm talking about, to know the person. And this guy right here, obviously, I've known him since the days of Candlestick, all the way back, as far as back as 2009. First time I ran into this dude was at a 49ers training camp. So I know the answer to this question, but let everybody know how you became a 49er fan.
Dang, Bashar, I'm sorry. I forgot about the training camp. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was around the time we drafted Crabtree, but Crabtree wasn't there yet because he held out. So
yeah. Well, my story is, as far as becoming a 49er fan, it's goes down from my grandpa. My grandpa, born and raised in Richmond, and grew up. The 49ers were the only team in the Bay Area. That's how I became a San Francisco Giants fan when they moved out here as well. I believe in '58. So he's been a 49er fan since the beginning, and raised my dad as a 49er fan, and then I was raised a 49er fan. So that's why in my videos you'll see me say third generation 49er faithful, because I mean it's in the bloodline, man.
You were born into it. You didn't have a choice, but hey, they made the right choice for you, right?
Exactly.
What was to your memory, what was the first 49er game that you attended in your experience, your first 49er experience at Candlestick?
Oh, my first experience was 1994 preseason against the Seattle Seahawks. It was a preseason game. We used to play them in preseason because they were in the AFC West. And that was my very first game. I remember my dad picking me up. I lived in West Oakland at the time, and my dad picking me up, and it was a surprise. My mom said, "Just get ready." Gave me a jersey, and it's like, "Just get ready. Your dad's picking you up." I had no idea. Believe I was like 7 years old, and I just remember going San Francisco with my dad, and he didn't tell me until we were on the 101. You could see the candlestick lights, and that was like, "Oh wow, we're here." So yeah, that was my very first experience, very first time I was ever at Candlestick Park.
Do you remember anything that went on during the game at all, or is it too far back
Yeah,
for you?
well, I remember seeing Steve Young and Jerry Rice coming on the field. I remember the 49ers, we wore our red jerseys. Back then, we used to wear the white jerseys in preseason, and until Mike Nolan changed that in '05. And but I remember seeing the red jerseys at Candlestick, and I don't remember anything really with the game, but I do remember seeing number 80 and number 8 walking on the field, and as a kid, that was everything.
Yeah, that and on top of that, that was the year we won the Super Bowl, right? That was the season. That was our
Yeah,
Super Bowl winning season with Steve Young.
that was yes, yep. And it turns out, the Seahawks are our biggest rivals now, so that was
Yeah,
my first
exactly.
game.
Ironic. Let me just say a shout out to a couple people in the chat really quick. We got my boy Bay Area Baller 18, 49 Faithful. Let's get it. He's got a YouTube channel as well.
Oh,
He's
oh, yep. I
really
seen his. Yep, I seen
he
his show and
does a lot
sub
of
to
good
him, man.
stuff.
Shout out.
He does a lot of good stuff, man. I love watching his stuff, and I had the pleasure of being on his call-in show yesterday. So shout out to him. Subscribe to his channel without a doubt. We got I'm gonna call this guy Richard Nasty. He says it's game day. I know this dude. I know he. And we got Nighthawk. What's up, Nighthawk? Nighthawk is
What up?
legend from the Rombo show, calling it on Hawk Hater TV and all that. What's up, Nighthawk? He be a legend in these YouTube streets.
Oh
We
yeah,
got
I seen him
Pinor
before.
in the house. We got local 49er fan. What's up, dude? Good to see the dudes in the chat, man. Without a doubt. I'm gonna go on with a little bit more questions here. And so do you have any experiences as far as meeting any 49er players that stick out?
My favorite experience was Jeff Garcia. We went to training camp when they were in Stockton. I want to say 2000, 2001. I believe it was 2000, but I remember, or maybe it was 2001. I'm sorry, but I remember seeing Brian Young, Stubblefield, Terrell Owens. I got stories with them, but the one guy that actually came out um, after practice and signed literally everything. I had like 5, 6 things and I was like 11 years old, 12, and he sat there and signed everything. Was literally asking all the fans, anything else you want me to sign? Like Jeff Garcia was the coolest
Wow.
person ever.
That's funny because I never met the guy, but for the most part, I heard a lot of good stuff about it. I never knew that he went that far with the fans. But one dude I know once told me that he was an asshole and he wasn't cool, whatever. I only heard that from one person, but what you're telling me is pretty awesome. And I remember one time I was at training camp. I remember Patrick Willis was just signing. He just took his time to sign everybody's stuff. But I was like 6 or 7, 8 rows back at the time, and I didn't feel like fighting through a big stampede of people. So I was like, whatever, it's cool. And years later, I happened to bump into Patrick Willis at the gym on the basketball court.
Oh wow.
And I had a little talk with him. We played a little pickup game. So it was kind of cool. One time he came up, I went up for a layup, and I jumped as hard as I could. This is back when I was more athletic. I jumped in as hard as I could and did a layup, and thought I jumped pretty high, and he tried to block my shot. He jumped pretty damn high. He tried to block my shot, but he didn't block my shot, but I missed. So I was like, damn,
Oh
Patrick
man.
Willis is trying to block my shot. I got to get up as high as I can for this one, man. Yeah,
Oh
it
man.
was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, see, yeah, Garcia was hella cool, man. Like Stubblefield was the a-hole. I got his autograph, but he was like one of those like, hey, just stay over there. I'll sign, but only one at a time, telling people like, no, only one thing per person. Like you just had a bad attitude. And you see what happened to him. But no, Garcia was cool, man. And George Kittle's the same way. Met him his rookie year, and he was the only player to come to the fans to sign everything. They had the VIP lot, the stands on the other side of the field, but the regular stands, he came over, man, was the only player that came out. So I took a couple pictures with him. He signed a couple things. And that was his rookie year, man. Kittle was hella cool too.
Yeah, Kittle seems like he's mad cool. Just never had a chance to meet him or some of the other
Yeah.
newer players, without a doubt. Got a couple other questions going on for you. So, what was your first 49er jersey?
Oh man, I my first 49er jersey was a number 21 Deion Sanders in 1994. I got that for my Christmas. I got it for Christmas, but it had my last name on the back instead of Sanders. So that was my very first one. And then my actual player was also right after that. I got a Jerry Rice. I don't, Bashar, you remember them in the mid '90s, them old school Reebok jerseys where they had the reversible, the red, and then the white on the inside. You could switch it out.
Those
I
were
don't know if you
nice.
remember.
I never had one
Yeah,
though.
yeah. I got a Jerry Rice one, and so those were my two first jerseys ever.
Oh yeah, I mean, my first jersey was Garrison Hurst. It was back when Reebok was still making them.
Yeah,
And
Garrison Hurst.
you've had your YouTube channel for quite some time, 49er Tone. And I clicked on there. I think you're almost at 1,000 subs, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe you're. Oh no,
Yeah,
is that? Oh,
I'm
yeah, I
at
think.
I'm at 700,
Okay.
seven
You're not too
something.
far away.
Yeah,
Once you
yeah.
start making videos on the regular, your subs will come, man. You'll probably get 1,000 in no time.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I first made my first video in 2009, and I still have all the videos on YouTube, but some of them are private, private because they're so old. But I just wanted to get on camera and talk about the 49ers. I seen JP from Frisco Fitted TV and JD from Hawkator TV. Back then it was JD in Sacktown. And I seen them. They were making 49er videos back then on YouTube. So I wanted to do it. And so I would just get a camera, just press record and upload. But now this year, I want to make more videos, and I'm definitely taking it more serious. So hopefully we get to 1,000 subscribers soon. I should have been there, but I wasn't taking it serious. I just wanted to talk 49er football. Didn't really engage. Didn't really talk to a lot of people on there on YouTube. But now I just want to get it serious and get this whole YouTube community together, man. Like it is truly amazing. All the 49er fans on YouTube and getting the community together, man. I love it, man.
And I was gonna put the video up on here, but I didn't. But if you guys ever saw the video of it was Hawkator, which was JD, and my boy 49 Tone here, where they're standing in the front of their TV when we played the Seahawks in 2019, last game of the season, and Dre Greenlaw hit that one dude, and next thing Seahawks thought they got a touchdown, and we were like, he's short, he didn't get a touchdown, he got tackled. The 49 Tone and JD are standing in front of their TVs, and they're like, he's short. They're like, he's short.
Yeah.
That's them. That's them. They actually played that video, became viral on YouTube. And I was sitting down watching the Minnesota Vikings playoff game, which was our following game. And lo and behold, right before the game started, the network that was broadcasting the game played that video. I was like, damn, there goes my boy 49er Tone, JD. There goes his dad. Your dad was in it too, man. Your dad's the guy that says, yeah, we're going on to San Francisco. So they played like a good portion of that video on the pregame show. Now that got me hyped. And that in the background music, I remember they put E40, Tell Me When to Go. I thought that was cool too,
Yeah,
Not sure if you took the. And I'll get into that because I know you're a big hip hop guy. We're gonna be talking for the game pretty soon. We're talking a lot of football, but when it comes to rap, like who was like your first like inspirations when it came to hip hop?
Oh, Too Short, easy. Too Short. Growing up in East Oakland, my dad actually was in the same high school the year right after Too Short graduated, so they were in high school together. And so growing up, that Too Short is near dear to my heart. Grew up on him. Definitely one of the originators, in hip hop, and of course Tupac. That he was a big part of my childhood. I got so many different hip hop legends that I still listen to right now. But my first dive into growing up, listening to hip hop was definitely Too Short.
Too Sheezy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, that my first Bay Area rap experience was Too Short. I mean, I grew up living in the Bay Area most of my life, but I mean, whenever we heard rappers back then, especially when I was in elementary school, this is like in the mid '80s. You've heard of L.A. rappers, Run DMC. I know New York rappers mainly is what you heard. Very little LA rappers even existed at the time. But I do remember my brother. He had God rest his soul. My brother, rest in peace. But my brother was tell me about. He went to junior high at the time, and he was telling me about. Oh, there's this rapper, Too Short, Too Short, and we were listening to it like, damn, I never heard like any type of language like that used in any type of music whatsoever prior to that. So it was kind of shocking, but at the same time, it was entertaining because Too Short could flow. He had his own little style and he had his own little type of beats, and it was the first well-known Bay Area rap at the time. He's probably the godfather of Bay Area rap. I don't know who succeeds him, who's before him, preceded him, but yeah, Too Short's definitely legend. Let me just say what's up to a couple other people really, really quick before we carry this on. This is my boy all the way in Georgia, Atlanta area, T Breezy, TNT in the house. He also goes by the name of Trez. Shout out to him. Big Niner fan, big diehard Niner fan.
Big shout out.
We got Matthew Navarro, big supporter of the channel. Says it was good, Bashar. Thank you very much. And as far as rap goes, like, what was the first rap song that you like memorized?
The first one I remember memorizing was "Too Short Getting It," and
okay.
I remember
the saxophone, the song with the saxophone.
Yeah, and actually, there's video out there. Someone has the video in the family, but there's video out there where me rapping that word for word. With no cuss words, by the way.
Okay.
But rapping that word
you do the clean version, the radio version.
Yeah. And that one's not a dirty song, but I was rapping that at at my cousin's birthday party, and someone has that footage somewhere. But yeah, I was like 6, 7 years old.
Yeah, there's actual video of me dancing to the Humpty Hump. You may have seen it. I think I put out my Facebook channel. You probably seen it. It was my brother and my neighbors, and I'm like the main guy, and I knew all the words to that song because I heard it a million times. It was like the most catchy rap song that I could think of at the time. And actually, Shock G, who was Humpty Hump, passed away recently. So shout out to him. Digital Underground was an awesome rap group. They discovered Tupac. They were excellent. Loved them in there. Money B. Money B's a 49er fan too, by the way. Yeah. So that concludes our questions as far as getting to know my boy 49er Tone. If anybody has any questions about the 49ers in the chat, feel free to ask them because we can definitely do a Q&A. If you guys got anything you guys want to ask 49er Tone, he's a season ticket holder. I was a season ticket holder once at Candlestick, and I know him from the Candlestick days as well. And you guys are excited about this game or what, man? We're playing the San Diego Chargers. I always say San Diego Chargers because it's literally embedded in my skull, but it's actually LA Chargers, which does not have a catchy ring to it. So therefore,
they belong in San Diego.
Yeah, the NFL is what sucks about the NFL is it's almost like a corporation. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna fix my lighting really quick. I don't know why everything's so bright now. Just give me a second. Just a moment. This is what happens on live TV.
Hey, it happens.
Yep. Here we go. I think it's a little bit better now. Well, we got J Mouse in the house. It says 49er Tone. What's up? Big supporter of the channel.
Big J. So what's going on, brother?
We're playing the LA Chargers, and Pinor has a question. He says, Will Shanahan make Trey Lance stay in the pocket again? You want to answer that one, Tone?
I feel so. I don't think. There's no game plan in the preseason. Everything's going to be vanilla, and plus, you want to see what Trey Lance can do in the pocket. I don't see him, like the Chicago Bears was going with Fields and just letting them run and do all that. That would be safe for the regular season. Now, I don't want Trey Lance to get killed, but he does need the reps. Let him stay in the pocket and let him go through his progressions. It's a complicated offense, and I don't see Trey Lance running all over the field tonight.
Excuse me. I was gonna find the video and put on here, but saw it yesterday. I couldn't find it again on Twitter for whatever reason. I was gonna show the video of Trey Lance running in the scrimmage against the Chargers. I'm not sure. Did you see that video, Tone?
No, I didn't see that one. I didn't.
Okay. If I do find it, eventually I'll link it to you. But it was really nice to see because basically what the show was, the play broke down, and Trey Lance just burst out of the pocket like a freaking cheetah or whatever. He just and he ran for about 20 yards and went out of bounds or whatever. And he looked it's the first time me seeing him in real time speed and against NFL competition running, and it looked different from what I saw for him do in college. And you see him do it against college. Everybody says he's playing against, well, people call it Division II, but it's not really Division II. It's Division I FCS, I believe is what it's called. In the league that he was in, and people said that he was playing against inferior competition. Oh, of course he can run all over those guys, but man, he ran straight through that Charger defense like it was nothing. He had such a burst of speed, and he looked like he had so much power. It was a different gear of speed that I had never seen Trey Lance do in the previous game, that's for sure. So I would like to see that just a little bit. If the play does break down, I don't want to see him get killed. We don't have the world's greatest offensive line. Who knows who they're putting out there? I was checking my Twitter feeds before we got on here, and I didn't see any notice of who's playing, who's not playing. If any of you guys in the chat want to keep us up to date with that, feel free to. I'm checking my Twitter feed as we speak, but it's going to be very important to see if Trey Lance is well protected this game and see what he does with that protection. Just because you're protected well doesn't mean you're going to sit there and be 10 for 12 and throw for 200 yards. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's great to hear. The people said the same thing about Kaepernick as well. The smallest school. Of course, he can run, and you seen when he was able to get out the pocket and actually choose to run. But I love how Trey Lance goes ahead and continues, even when he on the design rollouts. Even if he gets out the pocket, he's still looking downfield. He's still going through his progressions, and that's what you want to see. I'm not a football expert, but just as a lifelong fan, that's what I want to see. And the scrambling, the going for that first down, that couple yards, whatever, that's going to be all regular season. I save that for the regular season. Right now, give him the reps, going through the progressions and learning the system.
Yeah, I do follow what Grant Cohn puts out from time to time. I know a lot of people kind of get mad.
Hey, shout out to Grant.
I don't know if he's watching, man. He watches Bay Area Baller 8 team. I don't know if he watches me. He barely even knows who I am. I've only talked to him like twice. But So anyway, so about Grant though, I'll say this: he was at training camp, and they asked him, "How does Trey Lance look against the Chargers?" And this is what he's been saying. So he's a big Trey Lance supporter. Obviously, he wants Trey Lance out there, but he's also saying that right off the bat, Trey Lance isn't this great. He's not like a pocket passer right now, is what he's saying. He likened him to I forgot how he worded it exactly, but he likened him to Carson Wentz when Carson Wentz first came around. But he's basically saying a Carson Wentz when he first came around with exceptional athletic ability. So he said it's almost that style where in terms of the way he's in the pocket. I'm not the best quarterback expert either, unless I sit down and really watch and focus. But he's basically saying that when Trey Lance is going through his reads, he's almost like looks not scared, but he's got this weird poise when he looks through his reads 1, 2, and 3, and then he gets out. He looks a lot more comfortable when he steps out of the pocket. Is what he's saying. So we'll see how long it takes him to progress in terms of being a pocket quarterback. Maybe right now he might be at the stage of an average pocket quarterback, is for what Grant was basically saying. And then he was basically comparing him to Justin Herbert, because Justin Herbert looks amazing in the pocket, and he saw Justin Herbert on the field. So he says he's not at that level yet, but he looks great rolling out of the pocket. And so we'll see. We're going to see. We might see a different Trey Lance today and look a bit more steady, and hopefully guys like Brandon Ayuk or whoever else was dropping the ball catch a little bit of those easy passes this time.
Yeah, and see the key word is yet. I mean, you see the potential, and you see his potential is through the roof. So he might be not there yet as a pure pocket passer, but I mean, look how long it took Steve Young to learn. People forget about that. It took him a few years and being behind Joe Montana, and he became the highest rating. He had the highest career passer rating at the time when he retired, and how many MVPs he won. So yeah, no, Trey Lance, you see the potential. Like I was saying on 95.7, the game when I call in, man, telling Joe and Vontae, dude, it looks different. It just looks different when he's on the field. I'm to the point where I want to get a Trey Lance customized jersey and just put different on the back nameplate, because it's really just different, man. It's different.
Yeah, I mean, you could. Even if you just saw him, if you were at the game like we were, but even if you just saw it on TV, you could just see when he just takes a snap and something with his footwork or the way he moves, you you said something that can be great with him when you look at
Yeah.
him. You can just you definitely see something special. I can't put my finger on it. It just looks like he may have that it factor. That's just how I see it. We got a question here. I said we're going to touch on Jimmy. I know that because basically whenever I go do these shows, I always have like a list of topics that I go off of. So definitely going to touch on the whole Jimmy thing. And we got J Mouse in the house. Kind of rhymes. I believe in Jimmy. I think Trey needs time, Bashar, and 49er tone. What do you think about that?
110% agree with you. Before I answer the question, I'm tired of hearing this Jimmy supporter, Trey supporter thing. I'm a 49er fan. Whoever's under center, I want to succeed. I don't care who it is. I support both guys. Like this reminds me of that Alex Smith and Sean Hill debate back in the day. And obviously there's levels to it, right? But just people taking sides and poking at each other, and it's annoying. But I believe in Jimmy as well. Jimmy's a winner. He's a winner. He doesn't put up the stats like a lot of these other quarterbacks does. He might not do that, right? But we also live in a fantasy football era as well, where stats is the be all. That's it, right? He's a winner. There's something about him when he's on the field, the team succeeds. It is. It might not always be the game-winning play that he throws or whatever, but he makes everybody around him better. There's a reason why Mullins, C.J. Beathard, Hoyer before Jimmy. I mean, everybody was under this Kyle Shanahan system, and he does make players better. He does with the system. But there's a reason why we didn't win at all. We don't win without Jimmy. There's a reason back. He makes the system that much better. And I think Trey Lance is going to completely surpass that. But I'm not ready to throw the man into the fire yet. I'm excited for the preseason, excited to see what he does and progress. But as of right now, your boy 49er Tone is starting Jimmy week 1 at this moment.
Really, really quick, I'll say shout out to, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know if it's LL Cool J. Dude's name is LL. If it's a guy or a girl, I don't know. But it says, do you think Lance starts game 1? I was going to say, I remember we were at the tailgate when I ran into you and the name, and you walked up to me, you were punching me, you were like, you've been hating on Jimmy. You like punching.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Do you take what I see as a hate? I'm just.
No. I was only playing around. I know. But there's a lot of people on Twitter and different social media platforms, man. It's just the whole Jimmy guy, Trey Lance guy. It's stupid. We're 49er fans. Who cares who wins? I just want to win. But as far as that question, I think Jimmy starts week 1 as of today. But I'm still open-minded. If Jimmy gets outplayed the next 2 preseason games and you can see that Trey Lance is ready, then you got to go with your guy, but I want to see Jimmy play more tonight. I want to see some more snaps and see what he's about. And we'll just go from there. I do not think Trey Lance starts week 1. But if he outplays Jimmy the next 2 preseason games, I'm not going to argue with Kyle Shanahan with it.
Okay, I'm gonna make a few points, but I saw this guy pop up really quick. Jay in the Bay, what's good? I can't say it like you, man. You don't want to say it. Jay in the Bay, man, he's awesome. He's off the hook. Definitely subscribe to this channel. Says what's good, 49er Tone, Bashar and the Niner Empire. Thank you for jumping on. With Jimmy, I'll tell you this. I don't know, man. It's like I feel like if it was a 2017 Jimmy, this whole time we had him, I would never have said let's get a different quarterback. I would have never been excited about another quarterback coming in. I'd be like, no, he's our guy. I'd be supporting Jimmy 100%. But just I don't know, man. With Jimmy, I just feel like we're not able to open the full playbook. That's just how I see it. And we saw it more last year where he was resorting to all those short throws, and I just feel like it limits us. That's all. I just feel like it limits us, and I do want something more dynamic out there. And I feel like Trey eventually, once he's ready, he can bring that to us. Now, I'm not saying throw Trey out there right away, even though I love watching him. I love seeing what he can bring to the table, possibly. But I don't want him out there looking like crap either, and getting flustered. But what I have been hearing about Jimmy in practice is he has been throwing a lot of interceptions as of late. Now, if he doesn't throw interceptions in the game, that's fine, because I do think he's going to start week 1. I do think he's going to be our starter week 1 now. It's basically his job to lose is how I see it. Now, if those interceptions start coming in the game and then Trey's looking more ready in practice and Trey's learning it, because basically last week when we saw Trey, it looked like he had a little issue with going through his little short reads. I had the feeling that Trey was going more looking downfield for people who open like 15 or 20 yards when they put up some certain blitz packages on who's that guy that Jack Hammer pointed it out on Twitter on his little Twitter videos, and basically was saying there was a few people open short and Trey Lance could have checked down short and avoided those sacks. So if those are things he has to work on, let him work on it. Let him work on it until he's ready. If he's not ready, I'm okay with that. We're gonna have him for however long. But part of me is still kind of antsy. So there's the logical side of me when I look at football, and then there's the fan side where I become a fanboy and I get antsy and I get impatient. So I look at it. I do look at it from both sides. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see against the Chargers today if he looks like he's a bit more ready than he was last week. Obviously, that touchdown he threw was awesome. That was spectacular. So it looks like he's got like the big plays down. I just think he has to work on the little stuff. That's how I look at it with Trey Lance.
Yeah, now with that touchdown, I believe he had Ayuk on the cross when he went ahead and did the rollout. He had Ayuk on the cross. Any other quarterback is going to go to him because you can get some yak with that, right? But he was able to still scan the field and go for the home run big play and had the accurate throw. He threw across the field and it was accurate and put it right on the money for a touchdown. So you're going to get the home run plays with Trey. That's just the type of player he is. And it's the little things like that, like you were saying, going, throwing it if you need to check down or throwing it short or stuff like that. He's going to learn that. The offense is going to be dynamic. Now you're saying Jimmy kind of holds us back. You're right in the sense that it's not the full Matt Ryan or Julio Jones Falcons type offense, right? With Cal, right? But eventually, I believe we're going to get there. And you're right, Jimmy hasn't been the same since that injury in 2018, right? He hasn't really been the same. Those last 5 games in 2017, they shortened the playbook for him. He had very little time to learn anything, so he was really playing on the fly. And you see how well he was, because we were a horrible team, and he willed us to 5 wins and was clutch at that. I was there for the Titan game. He had that drive, and then the Jaguar game when they had the shirts and hats game that the Jaguars were saying, right? He went ahead and beat a bona fide playoff team, when we had nothing. So yeah, he hasn't been the same, but I truly believe towards the end of 2019, you start seeing the games, he started just getting better and better and really not worrying about the leg. Really not, so, we'll see, man. We'll see. But I believe the dynamic is going to be there with Trey.
Yeah, back in 2017, I was also at that game, too, against the Titans. That was a fun game to go to. You could definitely feel the energy. And we had a poor team from top to bottom that year. But for some reason, when he stepped in, everybody was elevated. And, it wasn't even a good O-line from what I recall. Because Trenton Brown only played with Jimmy G 1 game. He played that Bears game, and he was hurt the rest of the season.
And that's what I was saying. He makes everybody better. It just elevates. So some certain guys are able. They might not put up all the stats, but it's the eye test. Like everybody plays better with them. And I feel like that's why we have the 2 quarterbacks that we have right now. And I'm ready to rock and roll, man.
Yeah, if anybody has any other questions in the chat, I do see them popping up. I see more statements. Let's see. This one guy says, do we keep Jimmy G even on the bench with that salary? And that's up to, that's assuming Trey really, really steps in and does a whole lot better these next few weeks and really grabs the bull by his horns and takes over. They're going to have a dilemma. Do they want to keep Jimmy on the bench and pay him all that money, or do they want to trade him? Do they have a suitor? He has been injury prone, so that does ruin your trade value a bit. Who knows? It's really up in the air. It's totally up in the air. We don't know. And on top of that, it may be what John wants. What John and Kyle want.
I have two words for you for that. Parag Marate. Okay. Parag knows what he's doing. Like all we heard the whole of before the offseason even started is what the 49ers going to do. We don't have any money, blah, blah, blah. Jimmy's contract. And we made all the moves. We had one of the best off seasons that I could remember in re-signing players, getting deals done. And Jimmy's contract hasn't even been touched yet. So as far as keeping him on the bench, it's only for this year. Jimmy's not going to be a 49er in 2022. So this year is already on the books. So his contract really doesn't matter right now. You know what I mean? It really doesn't. Now, if you start Trey and he starts failing, switching back to Jimmy, that might cause some issues. But if you start Jimmy, it's not. But if you start Jimmy and then go to Trey, whether Jimmy starts playing bad or Jimmy gets hurt, or whatever, then the switch starts making sense that, hey, you got to ride the bench the rest of the year.
As we speak, I was going through Twitter trying to get any updates of who's playing and who's not playing. Nothing yet. So
all good.
If anybody else can help us in the chat, that's fine. I'd really appreciate it. I was just trying to get some up-to-date stuff. Yeah, so, yeah. And I remember, speaking of Parag Marate, I remember one time you and I were at a training camp. It was a special training camp practice at Candlestick Park. We were sitting by each other, and Parag Marate was on the sidelines, and 49er tone right here was, Parag Marate, before you came here, we had the worst salary cap. After you came in here, no salary cap problems. And you just kept shouting it at him the whole time, and I was just laughing the whole time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no one recognized Parag. I
knew it was.
Parag. Yeah, it's like, hold on, man. I'm about to yell this out, man. And
I met him once.
Oh,
I met him once briefly. I say, hey, what's up, Parag Marate? It was right before I was walking right at the Candlestick, and I bumped into him.
Yeah, I think I embarrassed him because I was yelling his name out so much, But hey, Bashar, you remember? Yeah, you remember? Parag used to get hate, man. Remember?
From Ralph Barbieri. Ralph Barbieri and KBR used to always rip on him.
Yes, man.
I don't know why though. He just. You know what the problem was? They said he meddled.
Him in a replay booth.
They were saying that he was meddling and he was trying to be involved in the coaching staff and the replay booth and all this other stuff, and who knows? So. Let's see. J Mouse said something about Candlestick. I wish I got to see Candlestick. I heard a lot of good things about Candlestick. Oh, I don't know if you ever lived in the Bay Area, but had you lived in the Bay Area, you should have checked it out, man. I'm not trying to, make you feel bad or anything, but
yeah, man.
those were good times.
Yeah, I wish you got to see Candlestick. I'll say this: we needed a new stadium. I love Levi's. It's a beautiful. I don't care what. I don't get the hate. I don't care about any other stadium. I love Levi's Stadium. It is a beautiful modern stadium, but Candlestick was so run down and so just old and breaking down and unsafe because we're an earthquake country, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's something special about going to Candlestick and walking in those gates and the tailgate, man. It's just Candlestick was special, man. It really was.
Yeah, Candlestick was awesome. What's that?
It was old. It was old. You're right.
The football side of Candlestick was excellent, but the amenities were terrible. Halftime comes around, you want to go to the bathroom just to take you know what? You're literally standing in line for God knows how long because there's barely any bathrooms. And then by the time you're done with whatever you got to do, it's already midway through third quarter. Real talk.
Oh, it's almost the fourth quarter. Yeah.
You had to wait that long. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Now, Levi's, you got access to so many damn bathrooms. It's awesome. My only knock on Levi's, and hopefully we make some new history there. We have some good times when we build the mystique at Levi's. The crowd's already, if you notice, we finally built up a decent crowd there. Now, this crowd's going to be pretty fired up week one, because even at the preseason game, it wasn't a full capacity, but we felt the energy there. We felt the energy at that preseason game. So, the crowd has gotten better at Levi's. My only knock on Levi's is with all these engineers with all their master's degrees and doctorates, whatever education they've had, they did not realize how to position the stadium properly or how to build something to block one side from the sun. You got the nice side with the home, on the home sideline with all the luxury suites. They don't feel the sun or whatever. But if you're there during the summertime, you're going to get hit hard pretty bad from the sun on the visitors side. So it kind of sucks. in that regard.
Oh,
But
yeah.
other than that, the stadium itself is fine. I think a lot of people complain way too much about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when speaking of the design, one thing about the York family that they didn't think, like you said, they didn't know how to position stadium. They used the same stadium design that was supposed to be at Candlestick. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So at Candlestick, you would have been in the sun, but it's much cooler. It would have been better. It would have been fine. But being in Santa Clara, it is hotter. It is the sun is. I mean, you're gonna be baking. It is. But
I'll tell you this though. I'm not a dark skinned guy by any stretch of the imagination. At Candlestick, I had to throw on sunblock all the time, and I sat on the visitor side. I had my seats at like the 40-yard line on the visitor side, and it wasn't like the sun doesn't hit you at Candlestick either. So,
No.
so it is what it is.
absolutely. No. The last few years at Candlestick, it actually was getting hotter in San Francisco. I don't know if it's like some global warming or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know. But it was getting a little hotter at Candlestick. It wasn't as cold as I remember it being as a kid. And that's why when my season tickets at Candlestick, me and JD, we had under the roof, under the
I remember those.
the overhang. Yeah.
Yep. I remember seeing you guys' seats over there. Shout out to CG Ruther Sports, big YouTuber. I jump on his channel from time to time. Says what's up, Minded and Tone. He was on my recap for the initial preseason game that I did on Monday. If you never had a chance to check that out, you can check it out. Good dude, man. Puts out some good content. And I did I did his musical video intro for him actually on his channel. If you want to check it out, so
that's what's
check
up,
that
man.
out.
Yeah, CB, cool, man. Shout out to him, man. He hit me on Twitter and stuff, man. Cool dude, man. I can't wait to kick it and tailgate with him, man, at a game.
Yeah, I told him a lot about you. That's how he knew. That's how he hit you up, and so very good guy, very very good guy. So what haven't we talked about? Yeah, I got a big list of topics. If any of you guys got any topics that we haven't touched on yet, please or any questions, please throw them in the chat. We'll be more than welcome to answer them for you. But carrying on with what we got to talk about here, we got the O-line, we got receivers, we got running backs. Whatever you want to touch on first, Tone.
Just no injuries. Just
injuries. No injuries would be nice.
No injuries. I haven't looked at who's inactive, who's active tonight, or anything like that, because it's Trey Lance is on everybody's mind, so I really haven't checked that out. But just no injuries, just please no injuries.
Yeah,
and give Jimmy some reps. I want to see Jimmy play a couple series. If he's going to be the week 1 starter, he shouldn't be playing 5-6 plays like last week. Like, play Jimmy a little bit and then Trey finish it off.
But if he's the week 1 starter, don't you want him to be protected a bit more and not risk injury by being out there?
But playing the first quarter or playing 2 to 3 series, come on, man. If we're not able to protect him in that short amount of playing time, then we shouldn't be going nowhere.
I got you. Yeah, I don't know what happened last week. What's funny? That rookie offensive lineman that we had. I'll touch on offensive line a little bit. Jalen Moore, rookie guard, but we converted him to the backup left tackle now. He did pretty well when Jimmy was in there. And for whatever reason, he started looking terrible when Trey went out there for the most part. Like, dude, I didn't get it. But so he, from what I heard initially in camp, that they did like what they saw in Jalen Moore a lot, and they actually were confident enough to convert him from a guard to a tackle. So it sounds like it's good. He's going through his rookie growing pains. It is. We do need to see Banks step it the hell up, though. I'm a big offensive line guy. I played O-line in high school. I was a guard. I was hyped when we drafted Banks. I'm thinking Ayupati or Yapati 2.0. Doesn't look like him, but I just figured same strong body type. They said he was a great pass blocker in college, and we haven't seen it from him yet. It's only been 1 game, but I haven't heard much in camp as far as him doing well. So
now people are comparing him to Josh Garnett. Like, what do you think about that?
Well, they wear the same number too, so I don't want that comparison. I don't want that comparison either. Now I don't want that comparison either. And one more thing about CG Ruthless Sports, he actually interviewed Mike Rumpf on his channel, and he's going to be interviewing.
Check that out.
Jamie Wim. Oh, Michael Rumpf, man. If you guys weren't big on him as a player, we had big expectations for him, but that guy's got tons of personality. Super cool dude. He's an excellent interview. He's a great interview. It's very, very good interview. If you watch a Michael Rumpf interview, I suggest you do. Jamie Winsborg is going to be on Wednesday morning. He was a really good linebacker that we had. So CG Ruthless Sports is going to interview him. I definitely like watching Jamie Winsborg, number 55.
Oh, man. Yeah, Jamie Winsborg, yeah, man. He was a player, man. He was a player.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He had his moments, man. He was pretty damn good at one point.
He did. Yes, he did.
Oh, somebody had a question for you. Here we go. You can answer this. You can read this off, Tone, if you want. So J Bal says, 49er Tone, are you a Giants fan or A's fan? And he puts all these happy little faces. You can answer that one.
Oh man, well, I'm an Oakland A's fan. I grew up 10 minutes from the Coliseum for most of my, my younger years, and I'm actually got the A's and Giants game right now. So yes, I'm an Oakland A's fan. Got it tattooed right here, and got my Niner cap right here. But yeah, man, I'm actually an Oakland A's season ticket holder, so it's actually pretty cool to be a season ticket holder of both my teams. But yeah, man, let's go Oakland, man. Go A's.
49er season ticket holder and Oakland A's season ticket holder.
Yeah.
Actually, my first sporting events that I ever attended were A's games. I used to go to those little $5 bleachers. We used to watch Walt Weiss, Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire, Dave Henderson, Ricky Henderson, Carney Lansford, Mike Gallego. We sit in the bleachers, me and my brother and my neighborhood friends, and we used to try to catch home run balls. We had a lot of fun watching the Bass Brothers back then. I'm not a big baseball fan anymore, though. I don't hate the sport. I just don't get locked into it like I used to. So I can't really call myself a big A's fan if I'm not sitting and watching the games. But I definitely have support for them. And I know you're not gonna like this, but I kind of support the Giants too because they're all Bay Area.
I never hated the Giants. I got a lot of, like I said earlier, my grandpa was a Giants fan because they're the team that the second pro team in the Bay. A Giants fan. The only reason I'm not a Giants fan is because I live 10 minutes away from the Coliseum, and we used to go to A's games all the time. We used to see the fireworks from our porch.
Those were good times, man. Going to A's games were a lot of fun back in there, and I hate the way Al Davis messed up that stadium because they don't have that bleach. It was a great baseball stadium, and I don't know what Al Davis did with it. Sorry, Raider fans.
Yeah.
All right, this is a good question. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I was going to say then they leave Oakland with that debt, go to Vegas with that. So that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, that's for another show.
Yeah.
All right, so we got this question from local 49er fan. Says, what do you guys who do you guys think should be the punt kick returner week 1? If you guys know me well, you guys already know the answer to this question. I'll answer it after Tone does. Go ahead.
I'm not sure. Is Richie James even going to make the team? I mean, I don't know. I know he hasn't been looking good dropping passes, but as far as being a returner, last week's game, he didn't look good at all. I have no idea. I have no idea on that one. We're going to see tonight.
I got my personal bias, but
okay,
my personal bias is helping me because he looked really, really good week 1 in the preseason. And Simba Webster, who's my boy Fiston, a really, really good buddy of mine, that's his first cousin. So I've been hearing about this dude way back in his high school days. So
okay.
And I knew about Simba Webster on the Rams too. Obviously, I saw him in college, and I thought he looked pretty good on the Rams. I was happy we picked him up. Short, little, shifty wide receiver. From what I'm hearing in practices, they're not working him too much at wide receiver. They're not giving him the reps as I thought they would. I'd like to see him integrated in the offense, but it sounds like Travis Benjamin is getting get more of those reps. But I still want Simba to be our punt/kick returner. A lot of people want to see Brandon Ayuk as the returner. I know Ayuk wants to be the returner. I don't want to see him out there as a full-time punt returner, though. I just don't.
Well, why not?
Because I just don't want him to risk injury. I don't want him. Every now and then in a special situation, I'll be for it. But
John Taylor used to return punts and kickoffs.
He did.
Tim Brown from the Raiders.
Tim Brown too. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. I mean, I wouldn't mind. Hey, Ayuk I love seeing Ayuk with the ball in his hands, so I can't complain too much. And let me see what's up to this dude. This is one of the 49er Empire YouTube originals, all the way out in Minnesota. Osmosis. Go, what up, Niner fan? Yeah, man, we kicked it with Osmosis over at Candlestick Park, if you remember. Yeah, man, really good dude, diehard and a 49er fan.
Yeah, man.
Super diehard Niner fan. And he said, as long as it's not IU. We're just worried for his sake. Our team is terrible when it comes to injuries, man. Hopefully this year, knock on wood, we're better at it, but it's annoying.
Our injuries have scared you, because I get it. I totally get it. But if Kyle Shanahan chose to go with Ayuk, I mean, there's legends that's done it before. But I mean, the injury bug has, knowing our luck with the injury bug, man. I don't know.
So Local 49er fan says we should try out Ayuk tonight in the return game at the very least.
I agree.
Said,
I agree.
I wouldn't mind seeing him. I wouldn't mind seeing
Yeah.
it. Why not?
Why not?
Pinor says, do you guys think Kyle will allow Lance in next week's game to have a whole quarter or drive with the ones? That's up in the air. I don't know.
I think it depends on tonight. Tonight's showing if Jimmy doesn't look that good or is making this the same Jimmy type of mistakes, a lot of people would say, then it is quite possible. It really is. Like I said earlier in the stream, man, the last 2 preseason games are going to be big for Trey and really showing how much he's developed, how much he's getting better each day, and we'll see. We'll see next week, man, because it all starts tonight and how he looks.
I was just checking my Twitter feed to see if there were any updates on who's playing and who's not. I didn't see anything from Mayoko, and we're an hour and a half before game time, so we're gonna only be on here for an hour, about 9 minutes away from the hour mark. So I usually do my shows from the hour. So we're almost done with everything. We're just gonna. If you guys have any more questions, I'm definitely willing to read them off, like this one right here. We got J Mouse saying 49er tone. Do you agree Willis should be in Canton? How about 49er tone?
Oh, absolutely. It's a crime that he's not in Canton. Like, I don't care about he only played 8 years or 7 and a half, whatever. Well, I don't care about that. I mean, look at Gale Sayers from the Bears. How many years did he play? Jim Brown. How many years did he play? I mean, there's always going to be a bias when it comes to the West Coast teams, especially San Francisco. There's a lot of players that need to be in the Hall of Fame, and that just doesn't get any recognition. I mean, real quick, Bashar, my bad, bro. Real quick, I do want to say this. I'm sick and tired of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Everybody, if you put on a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey, you're in the Hall of Fame. Dallas Cowboys, you're in the Hall of Fame. How come all of their offensive linemen and this and that in their dynasty years are all in or getting consideration? But you got our offensive line that not only protected 1 Hall of Fame quarterback, but 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and none of them are in. Why isn't George Seifert? Why isn't George Seifert not even being considered into the Hall of Fame? This man has 5 Super Bowl rings, 2 as a head coach. One as a coordinator? D coordinator, and a secondary coach. Where the year in '84, our entire secondary went to the Pro Bowl. So it's just the 49ers
such a
get
bias.
shafted. Yeah, it's a bias. 49er players get shafted when it comes to the Hall of Fame. And Patrick Willis is the new name that's getting shafted for that.
Yeah, and if you think about it, other than that Roger Craig fumble, he definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. 3 Super Bowl rings, the first member of the 1,000 club, 1,000 yards receiving, 1,000 yards rushing. Why isn't he in the Hall of Fame, man?
He changed the game. He changed the game to what we know it today with the running backs. Catching the passes out of the backfield. Absolutely should be in the Hall of Fame. It's a crime that he's not even considered. It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny because I could have sworn I threw it up on my Twitter a few months back because I think Beast Rider had mentioned it first about the offensive linemen that we've had from the 80s to the 90s and all the Super Bowl years.
Yeah. I mean, Jesse Sapolu's not in the Hall of Fame?
Steve Wallace. Randy Cross, Steve Wallace, Jesse Sapolu, Harris Barton. Pick your poison. Who do you want? Throw one of them in the Hall of Fame. Something.
Exactly.
I mean, it's up. How about Brian Young?
BY's not in the Hall of Fame. That's crazy to me. That is crazy. BY should be in the Hall of Fame.
How about this guy right here? Perfect.
Oh man,
Tim McDonald.
Timmy Mack. Timmy Mack was literally my second favorite player in the 90s growing up because I loved Jerry Rice and I loved Merton Hanks. But Timmy Mack, they used to call him the poor man's Ronnie Lott. Like Timmy Mack was a beast, man. A forgotten 49er. Man, that's a great call. Yeah, Timmy Mack was the man.
That reminds me because back when I was in high school, I used to buy all the football magazines. This is before the internet existed, all right?
Yeah.
So I used to buy all the little football magazines, and if you bought those football magazines, that was the big thing back then. I forgot the names of them, but I remember ranked like all the players from all the teams and all the positions. And this is when Tim McDonald was on the Cardinals. They weren't even the Arizona Cardinals back then. I think they were
Phoenix.
They're called the Phoenix Cardinals back then. Yep. Yeah. And I remember they had Tim McDonald as a top safety, and it said, Tim McDonald has dethroned hard-hitting safety king Ronnie Lott, and now Tim McDonald has a throne. And that was when I first really knew about Tim McDonald. I was like, damn, this guy must be pretty damn good. And then, like, I believe like 2 years later, they brought in NFL free agency, and Tim McDonald was one of the main proponents to bring free agency to the NFL. And, you know, he wanted to be a 49er. He's from Fresno, you know, and from California. And well, lo and behold, he became a 49er. And not too long after that, he won a Super Bowl ring with us. So more than happy. I'll be more than happy if number 46, Tim McDonald, gets thrown into the Hall of Fame. I love it. They should definitely have in the 49er Hall of Fame. I don't know what they're waiting for.
Absolutely. I think Jay will do the right thing. Yeah, Jay will do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
He deserves it. Absolutely.
And we got some more Hall of Fame talk right here. This J Mouse says Joe Staley will get in.
Yeah, I think Staley will get in. I think he will. But I'm just saying, because we've been burnt so many times with our great players not always getting in. I don't know if Staley will be, you know, first ballot. He absolutely should be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I gotta say, super shout out to this guy. I thought he already knew about my channel. I guess he didn't. I should have told him earlier. Good buddy of mine, Go Hard, all the way out in the Bay Area, says, okay, forgive me, gentlemen, that I'm barely stumbling across this channel. Just subscribe, by the way. Thanks, man. He said, let's eat some bolts. Yeah, we gotta put those bolts. Make sure they run out of battery life or something, man.
Oh, yeah.
Those car chargers, cell phone chargers. Nighthawk Afterburner says, go Niners. And I'm just going to go through my list of topics. If I miss anything, we got HaHa Clinton Dix as one of our safeties. We got Talanoa Hufanga, who I like seeing in the first preseason game.
I'm definitely interested.
Speaking of USC safeties, following in the mold of Ronnie Lott and Tim McDonald, Troy Polamalu, the great UFC safeties who have came out, Mark Carrier. I can go on and on and on. Joey Browner. Hopefully, crossing my fingers on this one, Talanoa Hufanga is one of them. 5th round pick. Somebody that I know is a big USC fan. He's not a Niner fan. He told me that this guy is a first round talent that we drafted in the 5th round. So hopefully I'm right.
Well, he looked like it last week. I mean, just him just running on the field, man. I mean, he looked good. I'm definitely excited to see him tonight.
Oh, gotta say what's up to this guy. I interviewed him. His name is Gavin Upright Cartwright. I like to call him Niner McGregor because he talks like Conor McGregor. He acts like him. He's all fiery and passionate like him. He's always pumped up 24/7 as if he drank 20 Red Bulls. He's saying, dang, got here late. He's all the way in Wales, by the way. He's not Irish, but he's all the way in Wales in the UK. So big Niner fan. Love your support, man. Love having you on my channel anytime, man.
That's dope, man. Shout
out. He's a big Kyle Juszczyk fan. He's a big Josh Hockett fan. Always talking about the fullbacks. Always thinking we should get Juszczyk involved more in the offense because we pay him a lot of money, and I totally agree with him.
Absolutely. I agree.
Osmosis said that about Frank Gore. He said we should bring in Frank. We need a running back later in the season, or we could bring him. He said we could, but we have so many young running backs now. How do we fit Frank Gore in? I mean,
that's not going to happen. Unfortunately, I wish it did. That's definitely speaking from the heart. But logically, I just don't see it. And going back to the Hall of Fame thing, you know, Frank Gore, from what he's done his entire career for people on the East Coast or who don't watch the West Coast games or the national media, when people are still talking about is Frank Gore a Hall of Famer, that shows you how much we've been burnt and get overlooked for Hall of Famers. But as far as Frank coming back, I just don't see it. I really wish he would come back, but I don't see it.
Well, the good thing is he should definitely make it to the Hall of Fame first ballot. I mean,
there shouldn't be no question, just for the simple fact that someone actually questions that to this day. Come on, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, and we talk about dudes getting injured on our team all the time, and how me and you were talking before the show how we're let down that Jalen Hurts probably going to get cut, or he's probably not going to play, even if they do stash him away in the roster, and with all the damn injuries he had. Frank Gore, did he have 2 ACL injuries in college or something ridiculous? Like,
I think so.
He's like a walking miracle. I don't know how he pulled that off with the career, and he's been playing longer than anybody. I don't know.
Yeah.
God just blessed him and just said, "You're born to be a football player. You're born to be great, and you're always going to be great." So that's just Frank Gore, man. He's just a different type of player, man. Different type of guy.
He is. You remember when we didn't have any hope, and teams would stack 10 people in the box, 10 to stop Frank, and Frank was still going for 100.
I hated that.
Come on.
I hated that, man. But it was great to see Gore get the rock, though.
Yeah. Frank was still going for 100.
So local 49er says next time we bring in Frank, when he retires and he signs that 1-day contract, he's definitely a Hall of Famer. Yeah, I definitely think that's going to happen, no doubt.
Yeah,
Without doubt. We'll definitely
that's
put
the
him in
way
the
he comes
49.
home.
Definitely put him in the 49er Hall of Fame. So we're at the hour mark. If anybody has any last questions, feel free to ask them. But Tony, you have any final remarks by any chance, or?
Yeah, I just want to get it straight. I'm not saying Frank Gore's not going into the Hall of Fame, but I'm saying there's people out there that really truly believe, is like asking that question, and it's ridiculous. Like Frank Gore is a first ballot Hall of Fame, one of the greatest running backs of all time. How can you even question? If Frank Gore was with Pittsburgh or the New York Giants or with the Dallas Cowboys or any of those glamour teams, no one would ever question it. But he's a San Francisco 49er, so it's just ridiculous that that question even pops up. But absolutely first ballot Hall of Famer. I love Frank.
Yeah. So I don't do score predictions for preseason games. If you have one, Tone, I don't know. This guy wants to predict the score. I'm bad at that for preseason.
Man. You know what? I'm gonna go with, because preseason always has those weird scores. So I'm gonna go like, I don't know, 33, 49ers 33, Chargers 27 or something, like some random score.
I know we're asked about Sermon. Will Sermon have a good game, an amazing game? I'm hoping he's at least good. I want to finally see him bust out and break some long runs, man.
I hope so, man. He looked okay last week. I kind of like what I see. I definitely want to see a little more shiftiness. But other than that, I mean, he looked good. I mean, I definitely want to see more of him. I don't think he's like a bust or anything like that. I think he has a high ceiling, but I want to see more.
Yeah, Osmosis asked about Jalen Hurts. I touched on Jalen Hurts a little bit. I just don't think it's likely that he plays this year. I don't know, unless something miraculous happens before the season starts. Who knows?
Yeah.
Sounds like he's losing out to Jennings. Jennings definitely has a shot to be the third or fourth receiver. I wouldn't mind seeing Jennings at number 3 receiver. Him or Sherfield, one of the two.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely want to see them battle it out, man. I wouldn't mind those. I really feel like we really didn't address the wide receiver core really at all. I think Debo has an injury history. Ayuk's been staying here, but did Ayuk get hurt last year, or was it the COVID tracing thing with Kendrick?
I think Ayuk got hurt at one point too.
He did get hurt, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got your top two guys with our injury history. You let Kendrick Bourne go. I know a lot of 49er fans for some reason don't like Kendrick Bourne, and he got paid. Congrats to him. But he was a guy that was on that third down or in the red zone that you can count on. That hey, he's going to get that first down, or he's going to catch the ball in the end zone. He might have a lot of drops. I get it. He's not worth the money, but guys like that, keep those drives going or cash the difference between touchdowns and field goals. And losing Kendrick Bourne, I think, was a big loss.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I wasn't a big Kendrick Bourne fan, only for the fact that not about his dancing or anything like that. Mainly because I just thought in certain situations it was weird because he would make good big catches from time to time. But I remember a few times here and there that I saw him drop a lot of easy ones. So I was kind of wishy-washy about Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah, no, he did. And I'm not saying he's a great player or anything like that, but there was times where we needed that third. Like what comes to my mind is that Rams game when it was 3rd and 18 or 3rd and 17, and Jimmy hit him at before the third down play to when he hit Sanders deep down. But I mean, just plays like that, like Kendrick Bourne. If you go watch some of them games, Kendrick Bourne comes up big in the red zone and on third down, like he does.
We're about to wrap this up because we're hitting the hour mark, and we got to do things. But there's a Warrior question that popped up. We're both Warriors fans, so we'll go ahead and answer this. So 49 Tone, are you happy with Iggy coming back to the Warriors? Andre Iguodala.
Oh, hell yeah. Iggy, man. Yeah, I love Iggy. Iggy will forever be in Warrior fans' hearts, man. I'm happy he's back. I wish he never left in the first place. But, he had to go get his money. I get it. But I'm so happy he's coming back home. And, yeah, man, I'm ready for Warrior season 2, man. I'm ready.
All I know is if you're a Warriors fan, do this right now. Go pull up Kuminga's highlights in the summer league,
Yeah.
and just tell me what you think, because you might just go nuts and throw your popcorn all over the room. I don't know.
Oh,
He might do something.
Kuminga's gonna be a beast.
Kuminga is just, he really opened my eyes when I saw in the summer league. Like, damn.
Yeah.
And back to Iguodala, he's a 49er fan. Just to let you guys know he's a 49er fan. On that note, we got to wrap things up, man. This is game day. Tone's got to be somewhere. We all got things to do. But we are more than happy and blessed to have you guys in the chat asking questions, and we're all hyped up for this preseason game. Hopefully we see Trey Lance do something, and I'm pumped up for this game just like everybody else. So, any last words, Tone?
Man, thank you for watching, man. Thank you for having me on too, man. It's been a long time coming. We can get on soon, man. Maybe this week or next week, man. We do this again. We can do
whenever. I'm more
show.
than happy to do the good.
Yeah, man. I'm. This was fun, man. This was awesome. I truly appreciate it. Man.
I really appreciate it, man. Yeah, man. So thank you for coming on, man. And I definitely want to have you on. It's not like I just want to have you on one time. I always wanted to have you on as a recurring type of guy in the future. So with that said, everybody, keep repping those 49ers and stay. Oh, really quick before I go, man. I usually do my outro. I want to give a big shout out. Rest in peace to the 916, the head of the 916 Empire chapter, Anthony Bunky Moreno. It was a big loss for the 49er community, for the 49er Empire community, all the 49er fans in the Sacramento Bay Area. Everybody knew this guy, and it was really sad. He passed away due to COVID, and I don't want to say this, but he wasn't vaccinated. He was against the vaccine, and COVID really hit him hard. So just a peace of mind there. God rest his soul, man. We lost a lot of great Niner fans over the years, including my brother. So just a shout out to all the Niner fans who lost their lives, because we remember all the good times with you, and we'll never miss you guys. So with that said, keep repping those 49ers and stay 49er minded, especially those in heaven. Peace. Rest in peace, Bucky.
Peace.
Come on, 49er faithful, let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick real quick.
49er mind.
Yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49er mind.